Right folks, I want to talk to you today about these things. The Fjuka 2-in-1 micros, or as they're officially known, the 3 mils in black and white. Now, I'm really excited about these baits, and I can see me using them a lot myself in my own fishing. I'll tell you for why. For years, I've struggled to hook hemp seed. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of anglers struggle to hook hemp seed. Often, I'll find myself avoiding fishing hemp seed because it's such a fiddly, faffy bait to fish. I'll find myself fishing other baits like maggots instead. This stuff is easy to hook, it's quick to hook, it stays on the hook, and when it's on the hook, it looks exactly like hemp seed. Likewise, bread punch. It's faffy to prepare. You have to roll it out the night before or steam it or all manner of processes to get it right. And then obviously there's the fiddly bread punches you have to keep in your box that you can lose or drop in. Now, I'm a bit more warm to bread punch fishing than hemp fishing, but again, it's fiddly, it's faffy. And what Fjuka does is make it a lot more convenient. Now, I came to this peg today with the intentions of feeding some bread, feeding some hemp, and fishing Fjuka bait over the top. But what I actually ended up doing was just feeding some Fjuka bait for the early part of the session and then fishing these over Fjuka bait. So feeding Fjuka, fishing Fjuka, and to be honest, I haven't had reason to come off it. I've caught big rudd, big roach, skimmers, hybrids. It's been absolutely fantastic. Let me show you what I've been doing. Right folks, so what I've got here is a 4x16 Preston Chianti, one of the old classics, tied on 013mm line to an 08mm hook length and a size 18 Colmic Hayabusa hook. Nice strong tapered shotting pattern down the rig. It's about 4 foot deep, I reckon, 3.5 to 4 foot deep. Nice long line between the pole tip and the float, really important to allow you to get the pole behind the float and control it. And then a solid Preston number 6 elastic to control the roach, skimmers, big rudd and hybrids that I've been catching today. And all I've been doing is putting a single piece of white or black micro pellet on the hook, and out we go. Looks like a small skimmer on the 2-in-1. Oh, I've had loads of fish like this today. It's actually not a skimmer at all. It's a big silver bream, or pommy as they often call them in these Fenland parts. Look at them. Lovely fish to catch. It's been one of these of varying sizes, most chucks in today, interspersed with the odd roach and the odd rudd as well. I've had a lovely golden rudd, about probably touching a pound, I'd say. Lovely fishing. So yeah, it's just a single white piece of the Fjuka on the hook there, shipping out. It's always important on rivers, I think, to lay your rig in front of you, and when it's shallow, you want to be feeding ever so slightly downstream so that your rig's set and fishing by the time it gets over your bait. And you can see that bite actually came just above the feed area, which isn't too uncommon when you're doing this sort of fishing. Don't be deceived into thinking that fish are always hanging in the bait itself. Often they seem to sit, for whatever reason, right underneath where it actually hits the water, as if they're drawn to the noise of it. So very often, by feeding slightly downstream of where you're fishing, you'll actually catch fish above where your bait actually ends up. Another white piece of the micro 2-in-1, and out we go. So again, we're just flicking the rig out, laying it in front of me. It's running down to where I'm feeding. Just throwing a few pieces of 2-in-1 in and just holding onto the rig because it's quite snaggy. I'm fishing just off the bottom and actually letting that hook bait waft through, and that's another fish there. Straight away, you can see it's been really good fishing today. What's this? It's a roach. That's some lovely stamped roach today as well. Lovely fish. Tell you what, I've been using the Colmic Hayabusas today. They're a hook I love for maggot and pinky fishing, but I wasn't sure whether they'd be right for Fjuka, but I must say, they've been absolutely brilliant. What I love about them in an 18 and a 16, when they're in, they're in. There's no, you have to really wiggle them to get them out, which tells me they're doing the job. Again, just rolling a piece of the white on the hook. I just hook it a bit like you're hooking an expander, I suppose. Just sort of roll it round the bend. Out we go again, and we're just laying that rig so it's round about in front of me, feeding slightly downstream, and then holding on to it. Not too hard. I'd say I'm aiming to get the rig to go through about half pace of the current today. And every day is different with regard to that. Some days you have to run it at the pace of the current to catch. Some days you can get away with stopping it almost dead still. But you can see now it's absolutely solid. This looks like another silver bream. Probably just about small enough to swing. Can keep out the trees. Lovely little fish they are. It's actually a proper skimmer, that one. It's not a silver bream. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else I can say about this bait. I mean, I took it on the Scholey last week for a little play, and I caught ever so well on the black 2-in-1 micros on there. When I said a Scholey, I should really explain. It's a Stainforth and Keighley Canal at Thorn, which is a little bit of a roach fishing mecca, really. Much like where we are today, the Old River Nene at March. But what I found on the Scholey was, unlike today where I'm finding it best to feed the 2-in-1 micros and fish one on the hook, keep things dead simple, on there it was definitely best to loose feed some hemp seed. And obviously, because the black is such a great mix with hemp seed, oh, missed that one. Because it's such a great mix with hemp seed, in terms of how it looks, that is. That worked really, really well for me on there. It was great. So again, just holding that back. A lot of leaves and things coming down today, which is making it a little bit tricky, but when there's that many fish there, you can't really complain yet. I'm over some leaves now. Oh. No, I think we'll have to come back and rebait, folks. Oh, it's come off. The leaves come off. We're back in action. So again, just waiting for my little gap in the leaves. Laying the rig in roughly in front of me. Feeding slightly downstream. Holding back. And just trickling it through about half pace. Nice bite, another good fish. This really is awesome fishing. Another little hybrid there. Another nice little pommy, that one. You can see the Fjuka sticking out of its mouth. I've got to say, I've been so impressed today with how the fish have responded to just this bait being fed and fished. But as I said on the Scholey, it was a little bit different. I definitely felt on there loose feeding hemp and fishing a black or white piece of this micro Fjuka over the top was the right way to go. I think, as with any new bait, folks, it's going to take, a few months, maybe even a few years for us to find out all the potential things that you can do with it. But this just slots so neatly into my armoury for this style of fishing, where it's bread and hemp fishing, because it's just so easy, it's so convenient. You can put it on the hook, you can feed it if you want to, as we are today. And maybe for a pleasure session, that might be all you do, bring down a couple of bags of this. It's dirt cheap, there's no mess, you don't need to get the liquidizer out and upset the missus or spend half your night pinning hemp the night before. You can just get it out and go fishing. If you're a match angler like me, obviously you perhaps wouldn't leave that much to chance, and it would be a case of bringing this stuff alongside the other baits, but why wouldn't you try it? I mean, it stays on the hook well, it looks like bread, it looks like hemp. It certainly catches fish. I mean, I've tried it a few different venues now, natural venues I'm talking about. I've caught on it every single time, and I'll be really interested to find out how you get on with it over the next few months.